Hi folks, I'm Craig Taylor, and as always a huge thanks for joining me here on my YouTube channel, the Bushcraft Padawan, and thanks for joining me in this week's Thursday's Thought. A few days ago I was watching a video from Jimbob Outdoors. I'm going to link to the specific video on his channel in the description below this video on YouTube. Go check his video out. I was listening to that video, I was watching that video, and Jim was out doing a wild camp overnighter, whatever you want to call it. And he said in that video that his preference is to actually go out and do these overnighters in company with a number of other people. He said that he's quite happy and content with doing them, the solo overnighters. In fact, that very video that he was recording was him on a solo overnighter. But he said his preference is to actually do it in the company of others. And that got me thinking. So thanks Jimbob for the inspiration for this week's video. That got me thinking, because my preference is the exact opposite, the anti-social thing that I am. My preference is to actually go out and do my overnighters and my day out in the woods by myself, as opposed to in a group of other people. Just like Jim, I'm perfectly capable of doing the opposite. For the last couple of years I've been on some bushcraft courses with Paul Kirtley and Frontier Bushcraft. They've had big numbers of people on them, dozen or so people, plus the staff, maybe 10 to 15 people. I'm doing that again at the end of this month. I'm going on a bushcraft course with other people. When I go out, I often take my kids out with me, either for the day or for an overnighter. And I've also got some very loose plans at the moment to go out and spend some time with other YouTube bushcrafters and people on social media that I've met that do this kind of thing as well. So I'm perfectly capable of engaging in social conversation with other human beings. I just prefer not to. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? I don't know why. I wonder if it's because the vast majority of my day is spent engaging with other people, clients, customers, either on the telephone, over Skype, in a Google Hangout, via email, in some sort of social network. I spend a lot of time, even if I'm not face to face with people, I spend a lot of time engaging in a dialogue with other people. And I just wonder whether, when it comes to my hobby and my pastime, I prefer to kind of not have to think about that and almost switch off and be quite introverted. I wonder if it would be different if my job was I was on my own, not dealing or interacting with anybody else. I wonder if that might change. So as it stands at the moment, my preference when I go out doing my bushcraft all-dayers, my overnighters, my multi-day trips, my preference is to be on my own, but I'm perfectly capable of doing the other. So I've got a question for you. I've got to be careful how I word this, otherwise you're going to come back with the answer, it depends, which is a great answer to most of the questions that I ask. It depends. But let's just imagine this. You have to make a choice. You can't say it depends. If it was this situation I'd do this, if it was that situation I'd do the other. What is your preference? If you could only, for the next year, while you're out doing this thing, if you could only do it on your own or with other people, there's no 50-50, which one would you opt for and why? Are you solo or are you social? Let me know in the comments below. I think this would be quite an interesting one to read. And also, if you're comfortable with doing it, go into some detail about why you prefer to do that. Do you think it's because your job is the opposite and therefore you prefer to sort of use a different part of your brain when you're out doing your hobbies and your sports and your bushcraft, your pastimes, things like that? I think this could be quite an interesting one into seeing what people's motivations are for being solo or social. If you've not yet taken the opportunity to watch my mystery unboxing video, go and take a look at that. It's appearing up on your screen now. It's quite an unusual video to record. It was a great video to record, very, very generous video there from a gift there from Trev. I won't spoil it anymore, but if you've not taken the chance to watch that video, why not go check it out? It was quite an interesting social experiment. Thanks as always for watching, folks, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Cheers.